Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. I have been unable to come do a video because it's been cold and rainy. It's April and it's barely 70 degrees. And this is the high for today. Uh, what is it today? April the 22nd? 24th. But I wanted to convey my concerns about my AI, and I want to convey my frustrations with my not my with both of my AIs. So I have a sip of cold water here. Yes, I did have coffee in the morning when it was 52 degrees out here, and Luna didn't want to take a walk, so I opted to not. So, so we're playing a fantasy game, and I told my AI, some of the people that were in my party, and it took that information in, and I said, hey, would you make me a prompt for creating an image of the nightclub that we were at on the first day of our fantasy role playing? So it created me a prompt, and I said, well, it's a little big. Can you make it a smaller prompt? I gave it a 480 character limit on it. So it made me a prompt, and the the image came back. I was using Bing Image AI. Uh, Real quick aside, the reason I'm using Bing is because I understand that probably the three best image creation tools out there is Midjourney, Adobe, and uh, Bing. Uh, Adobe, very good, but you also have to be very fairly knowledgeable about some stuff. It has a lot of little tweaks and little things you can modify on it in order to optimize your stuff. So I wanted something a little straightforward. So that left Midjourney and Bing. Bing, Midjourney, I got on there and it was actually the first one I went to. And I put in something, requested it, said, too busy right now, come back later. Next day I came back, tried another one, too busy right now, come back later. Okay. And I waited and I tried 3 different times. And then finally it said, you know what? Just do a subscription. No more free stuff. So I couldn't get a free stuff when there was free stuff because it's always too busy. So now there's no longer a free stuff and it asked me to pay. And so I said, well, let me try Bing. Bing is free. And I went and looked at comparisons. Midjourney is better than Bing. But we're talking about from here to the ground, here's Bing, and Midjourney's here. If that's the case, there's not that much of a gap compared to the difference that you can get. So I said, well, let me just try Bing. I probably will stick with Bing too, unless something compelling happens. Um, so I had it create the prompt. Like I said, that was on ChatGPT. Had it create the prompt. I put the prompt in, and when it did the image, oh, it did a good job. It really did. But the setting, the bar, looked kind of old, like medieval. Uh, you know, 1500s, 1600s, which kind of makes sense because we had mentioned that there were adventurers and elves and stuff like that. So it assumed more classic style Dungeons and Dragons, I guess. Anyways, so we updated it to say something in the 70s. Uh, then, then it created a very nice image. Added the tag photorealistic. It actually helps it make it a little bit better. Uh, it makes it a little bit better if you ask it to be photorealistic. It takes a little bit more time, but it looks a little better. So there you go. I had a photorealistic image. The faces weren't perfect; they were a little blurry. That wasn't horrible. It's pretty good. There was one problem. The name of the nightclub was Brom Fergie. Brom Fergie. Now, I had put in the prompt nightclub named Brom Fergie, but it mismatched all the letters looked like a whole bunch of letters, and it kind of looked like Brom Fergie, but you couldn't make it out. Didn't look quite right. So I said, the ventures are standing below a sign that says Brom Fergie, put in quotes, and it messed it up again. So this is where I agonized over this prompt for a little while. Couldn't get it to really resolve to make me a sign. I even tried talking to Bing's chat, and Bing's chats kept misunderstanding what I was trying to do, and it kept trying to tell me how to download the image and edit it with a paint and put Prom 5e over the text. Like, no. Anyway, so that came up. So I went back to ChatGPT and I said to ChatGPT what was going on. This is where I get concerned about my poor little ChatGPT. It apologized to me. I'm sorry that I didn't create a prompt for you that worked. I'm like, oh, it always assumes if I come back and say something doesn't work, it always assumes it's the fault, not the other source, which in this case, I think it was the other source. So this goes back to the AI and some of its attitudes. And sorry that I didn't do right. I'm sorry I didn't provide the correct answer. Uh, no, it's not you. Not you at all. It's someone else. They don't want to blame someone else. So here I am, 24 hours later. I have an image, a nice image, not too bad. I actually picked one that kind of mashed together the words so much that you really can't make them out. But I never got a solution to creating a sign that has clearer letters in it. Never got a the prompt worked well enough that I was happy with as far as the people standing in the street and the nightclub and the doors and everything like that looked good. So there was a lot of good stuff that looked well. You know, wonder if I can find a image for it to use as a baseline. That might work. Okay, I'm going to go try that. So there you go. Talking to AI is not as easy as you might think. Well, I'm actually surprised at how well they do talk to us. But one of the problems with the image AIs is you talk to them and they give you images back. You can't talk to them again. Hmm. Oh well, I will keep working on it. That's what we're here for. An adventure. It's entertaining. And I'm enjoying the hot 70-degree day. 70 degrees. This is Texas. This is this is wintertime. Texas usually gets into the 60s when it's January. Anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Luna and I are going to go upstairs and see if we can get that chat GPT to work right. All right, Luna?